Before we get into today's video, I just want to say please stop by my Discord if you have any questions at all. I'm always active there. And also a huge shout out to Dutch Laws for the feedback on the space and everything he contributed to it as well. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel linked in the description. With that being said, this video is brought to you by RustySaloon. RustySaloon is a gambling site for people 18 and older, and they just released some new game modes like Dice and Mines. They also have a variety of new deposit methods, including PayPal and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others. And if you go to rustysaloon.com/dust, you'll actually get a free 50 cents using my affiliate code. They also have the faucet system, which rewards you just for having rustysaloon.com in your name. Also, make sure to check out their Discord for giveaways that they've always got going on. These are my real winnings after using the site. I got a couple of AKs and a Dragonhorn set. As always, please gamble responsibly, and with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Starting off, we can see the stubby version of the Mini Satori quick disconnectable external TC. Placing a twig roof here will actually break these floor frames and disconnect the TC, so you can replace your main one in the event that it gets raided. Then we have a pretty standard 3-triangle gatehouse with windows that see into the compound, and we have 360-degree turret coverage. Turrets are also covered by chain link fence to prevent grubs from compound bowing them out. Coming in the front airlock, it's similar to a Vulcan style airlock, and we make use of the area down below to open our bunker. We place twig here and it will actually open up this floor tile. Dropping down into our core, we can see a TC, a few large boxes, our workbench, and an optional vending machine. Coming back up, we have more drop storage, a locker, a tier 2 workbench, and then a full loot room. Then we have a battery and a bunch more storage over here. Coming up the jump up, we also have a window that sees into our shooting floor. And then our bedroom has a couple beds, small boxes, and a locker, as well as an auto turret to guard the chute. Coming out, we can see 2 shotgun traps guard each of the drop downs from the roof, and we can seal off this entire area while leaving the roof open so our turrets have coverage. Coming back into the shooting floor, you can see the wide gaps give us great angles into the compound. Coming over here, we have 2 sets of roof peaks, one on either side, so you have 360-degree coverage of your roof if somebody tries to take your minicopter or top-down raid you. There's plenty of room for deployables on the roof, as well as windmills and anything else you might need, like disco floors, of course. To start off, we'll make a hexagon shape with the last triangle missing, and then enclose it in walls. At this last one, we'll put a double door frame, and then put a wood ceiling tile right here. The rest of them should be stone. Then we'll put a TC here, and always make sure to lock your TC. And we put a double door on the front. We can put a half-height shelf right here to hold some large boxes and small boxes for temporary storage. When you're ready, you can also put a reinforced glass window over the TC to give it extra raid protection. Putting another double door frame here with another double door will give us a makeshift airlock. It won't actually prevent people from coming through though if both doors are open, so just be careful. Then we'll place our tier 1 and tier 2 workbench here, a couple furnaces, a campfire, and our sleeping bags. If you're solo, you can add another large box or furnace here instead. And just like that, the starter's done. Your next goal should be expanding this so you have more utility, more storage, and more strength. To start off the expansion of our starter base, I'm going to upgrade everything to its final grade for the core. Most of it can be upgraded after the fact, but I would suggest doing the TC room as soon as possible. The next thing we're going to do is actually implement the pixel gap bunker. So how we do this is starting with twig using a triangle and a square. Then we'll build off the square with more triangles, as many as you see on the screen. And then put a square at the end. Basically what this is going to do is slightly gap the square away from the actual building, so then they don't take stability from each other. Once we build back with squares, we can upgrade the last one to armored. Now I'll honeycomb the rest of the base in sheet metal. Once we have the foundations down, this should be the footprint. Then wall in the honeycomb. When we get to the square on the back, put a half-height floor in the middle of it. This will just make building the loot room a little bit easier. When it comes to the front airlock, we can do it in stone, and on the front, make sure you use a raised triangle foundation. Otherwise, you won't be able to place the roof to open the bunker. We can use 2 half-height armored walls right here that will hold up the bunker. They have to be half-height though. Coming into our base, we can take any tool and begin hatcheting out our roof. This will actually be the bunker entrance. After we come out of our base, we can sit in this position and put a floor frame. Then coming into the airlock on the twig buildup, from this position we'll place a floor and make sure that the lines on the floor look exactly like this. This will make sure that it's actually attached to the right socket. Go ahead and upgrade it to armored, and then we should be able to place our bunker seal. Place it and then immediately destroy your twig buildup and place a roof here to verify that the bunker is working properly. And then we can seal up all of the tops of our honeycomb in stone. Coming to the airlock, we can put 2 single door frames and a window frame. Now we can come down to the front and use twig triangles and then upgrade the outside ones to wood, put a square roof on it, and then upgrade that to wood as well. You can do stone as well if you don't mind the upkeep. We can put a triangle here also for us to be able to walk on in our airlock. Then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. After that, we can put a double door frame in the airlock and then wall in the rest of the base. After we have the airlock secure, I'll put ceiling tiles on all of these, and I will use sheet metal. And then a half-height wall and a window frame go here. Another half-height wall and a ceiling go here, and we can create our roof exit. At this point, our base is entirely sealed and expanded, so we can go ahead, clear out the starter unit of all of the deployables, start putting door frames down, garage doors, and expanding our loot storage capacity. Make sure when you place these garage doors down that the rollers don't interfere with the actual drop down right here. If you rotate them the wrong way, it'll be a little bit harder to get in and out of the chute. Depending on the terrain you built on as well, under this large box, you might be able to fit furnaces, small boxes, or other deployables. We can put our tier 2 workbench here for now until we get a tier 3. Coming up, we can turn our honeycomb into something a little bit more usable by adding a shelf here, garage doors, and some storage. After we get a tier 3, we can move our tier 2 upstairs and put it in the honeycomb. Now to build out this full loot room, we'll go ahead and place 3 boxes in the shape you see here. After we've done that, we can use 3 small boxes and we actually get 1 more row of storage than if we were to have used 4 boxes. Then we can put a triangle with a couple boxes on it and build a half-height square shelf. This you can use any standard loot room design on. You can fit 2 more barbecues and 2 more small boxes here, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and throw a garage door on it. Another example of what you can do with the functional honeycomb is add a few barbecues and small boxes into it to get the equivalent of just over 1 large box on each floor. In the last spot, I like to put my large battery. It's the furthest on the door path, so if somebody's trying to raid through the doors, the battery is the last thing they'll get to. We can also put a double door frame here with a garage door on it, and then put a repair bench and a couple small boxes. Then we can put double door frames all the way around the core, and if we have the resources, we can put garage doors all the way around. To start getting our wide gaps and external TCs on, we'll use a triangle, square triangle build out off of the side of the base, and then we can build out from there 3 half moons using triangles. After that, we'll put one on the end as a placeholder, and it should look like this. Then we can remove all of the triangles except the last one. Coming back here, we can build out with squares until we finally end with a triangle. After you've built back to this triangle, put a square and triangle off of either side. Then we can go ahead and upgrade these as shown. If you've done it right, it'll look like a giant, yeah. Going out 2 squares, we can demolish the rest of the build-up, and then make a 3 triangle gatehouse. You can use any gatehouse that you prefer here though. If you want to use a single square, that works as well. Make sure whatever you do though, you sheet metal the foundation and the frames that hold everything together. I'm also using frames to build back to connect to the wide gap. Using frames instead of foundations makes it so then they can't be soft-sided. Once that part is done, it looks just like this. We can finish off our gatehouse. The rest of it can be stone because none of this is structural. Then we can put our mix of double doors, windows, and embrasures on. Next, we'll create one more half moon and then put a square at the end of it, and then 2 triangles. We can demolish the half moon and keep the rest. On the left, we'll put 2 sheet metal half walls, and on the right, we'll use a full wall. Then we'll use sheet metal floor frames on the top like this. We can put RTC in here, make sure to code lock it, and then put a window over it. You can use an armored window if you want a little bit more strength. If you've done it right, the whole external TC should look like this. We can come over to the wood foundation and place a twig roof on it. This will actually disconnect the TC, making it so we can replace our main TC in the event we get raided. After you've done it on this side, all we have to do is mirror it on the other side. And then we can begin building up our shooting floor. We'll start by using frames just like this. We can also create our turret pod here just using stone frames and a stone ceiling. Enclosing the turrets and chain link fence will make it so then grubs can't compound bow them out. And we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Now if we come up to our roof, we can place the floor tiles off of the frames we just placed. And then repeat that on the other side as well. After that part's done, we can put window frames all the way around. Just don't put them on these squares, as those will be our jump ups to the roof. You can then populate the window frames with your favorite combination of embrasures and windows. Coming to our airlock, we can build up these frames and then put a ceiling on it. We'll use this build up to make it easy to place this roof. We'll repeat these steps on the other side, except we actually have to add the triangles at the bottom. These will also act as turret pods on the front and back of the base. Once that's done, we'll repeat the same build-up as we did on the other side. Once the shooting floor and chutes are complete, we can go ahead and start enclosing our bedroom. Make sure when you place this window frame you upgrade it to sheet metal. And notice the hard and soft sides of the half wall are rotated from each other. Coming over to each of these squares, we can put door frames on each of them. And then coming into the shooting floor, we'll place another 2 on either side. It should look like this when all the frames are in place. Then we can enclose the ceiling of our bedroom with sheet metal. And we can put window frames here to finish it off. We can replace this double door with a garage door at this point, and then seal the roof. The rest of our roof can be stone, but it'll be more resilient from a top down if it's sheet metal. I'm attaching the ceiling tiles off of the core instead of the wide gap, so the gaps are less exploitable by people who may be on your roof. Make sure to upgrade the top of these roof defenses to sheet metal, otherwise they'll break in the case of a top-down raid. Then we can finish off our chutes by adding half-height shelves and garage doors. I'm adding triangle roof tiles here to give us a little bit more coverage and a few more angles on the roof. Finally, when we get to these last 4 squares, we can either use window frames or we can just use deployables like a barricade. Either one works, and the goal is just to provide you with more angles and more coverage on your roof. Then we can put auto turrets on the half-height shelves. These auto turrets are incredibly important to defend from a top-down raid. Then we can go ahead and fill in our turret pods as well. In the theme of auto turret placement, we can also put one here right above our jump down in the bedroom. And for our roof defenses, we can use a siren light right here just above the halfway point, and then add a floor frame up here. If it's stone, it actually helps you when you're strafing side to side so you don't fall off the siren light. Then we can put horizontal embrasures here. Put double doors in all of these frames so they open outward into the shooting floor. This will cover the gap by the square and also allow you to seal off each part of the shooting floor. For our bedroom, you can feel free to lay this out however you like. I'm just putting 2 beds, a few small boxes, a locker, and then a bag. Now the bag is actually here for mobility reasons because it slightly raises you up so then you can walk directly over the bed or the small box without having to crouch jump. And just like that, we built the crypt. I hope you all really enjoy this one. This is by far my favorite solo duo base that I've ever made. It's efficient, it's cheap, it is strong, it's good for online raids, offline raids, it's got a ton of features, defenses, and so on. But anyways, if you have any questions, as always, feel free to hit me up in Discord. My server link is in the description. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.